Now, a huge and largely peaceful protest against an extradition bill in Hong Kong broke into small clashes between police and protesters just before dawn on this Monday. For more on this story and other news from around the world, let's turn to our Hong Yoo. So, what prompted the authorities to use force on these protesters? And tell us why exactly people in Hong Kong are just so up in arms against this bill.
Well, Mark, what had been a peaceful protest descended into clashes between police and protesters when several hundred protesters tried to break into the Legislative Council. The council is where debates regarding the new extradition bill that would allow suspects to be sent across the border to Taiwan, Macau, and mainland China for trial will start from Wednesday. Several hundred riot police used batons and fire pepper spray and water cannons at protesters trying to break in, and people on both sides got injured. The demonstration against Hong Kong government's plan to allow extradition to mainland China started Sunday, and organizers estimate more than 1 million people took part in it. That would make it the biggest rally since 1989, when people gathered to support the Tiananmen Square protest in China. Sunday's protest kicked off in Victoria Park, with protesters chanting "No China extradition, no evil law," and carrying signs reading "Carry off Carrie" in reference to Hong Kong's chief executive Carrie Lam.
I think the most important thing is to oppose the evil law, as this new law is stepping on the bottom line of Hong Kong people. Any person, even those who thought at first it's not their business, now see that as long as they're from Hong Kong, they will be affected. Everyone can feel this today.
I joined the march today because I want to take back and fight for the freedom that Hong Kong people are supposed to have. The motherland once promised that we would have one country, two systems, but now under the regime of Xi Jinping, Carrie Lam and John Lee, who are betting on the future of Hong Kong people and the freedom that Hong Kong people used to have, will no longer exist if this law is passed.
Lam has pushed forward with the controversial legislation, saying it's aimed at closing legal loopholes. But opponents fear the amendments would allow Chinese authorities to take people for political reasons and undermine Hong Kong's semi-autonomous legal system. The bill's opponents hope that Sunday's massive show of discontent will convince the government to scrap the bill.